Serious problems.
Right, Jimmy, what's your serious problem then?
Mate, my serious problem is that I think everybody that has been watching us on social media will know that I was so gutted not to be able to start the relay, mate. So that's my serious problem. But what's not a serious problem is to have you back on the pod, mate. I know that maybe you have a serious problem, and so I'm going to ask you, what's your serious problem, Mika?
Very serious problem. I mean, my serious problem does also take away a serious problem we had, because now I'm not at an undisclosed location anymore.
Yeah.
But I am sitting in Ramsau in my house, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not enjoying life so much right now. But I had to leave the Olympics. There's just no point in fighting for the 50K. I mean, I would have stayed there as well if we had a relay, but we didn't have a relay either. So then it was like, okay, if you're so far away now, there's just no chance that you're going to do well in a 50K. And then we were like, let's just actually count our blessings, do all the medicals, make sure there's nothing wrong with the body, pie off the 50K, and try to get some okay results for the rest of the season, because it's also not ideal probably to really try to race a 50K now when you know, like, you're not doing really well, and actually, like, your performance rather gets a bit less every week than more, because also like 27th in the Olympics is like, yeah, but we only do have like 4 Norwegians and like 4 of every other nation. So like on every other World Cup, this would be like, I don't know, maybe 45th or 40th. So yeah, I had to leave the Olympics. It's very gutting, but that's just what it is now. You did not leave the Olympics. You're still preparing for the team sprint, where you're going to do fucking well together with Muzzy. But before we go into the team sprint, I think we have to give the people what this whole thing is about. Let's give them a debrief of the relay.
Exactly. That's why we're here talking today. I think there's a lot to unpack after the women's relay. We'll start there, I think. First of all, it wasn't such an exciting relay, was it? Apart from the Swedish team absolutely going nuts, just crashing, or Ebba crashing 3 times, I think. I've seen only 2 times on TV, but everybody was going on about 3 crashes.
Yeah, I was in the car driving home, but I had the NRK radio on, so I was just listening to it. And then I just heard, oh, there's a ski flying, now she's running. And I was like, what the hell is going on? So then I just saw like all the videos afterwards, and I was like, what is actually happening?
Yeah, so if you've been living in a cave and haven't seen what's happened on the relay, basically Sweden was leading with like 15 seconds, something like that. So it was like comfortable lead after the first relay with Lin Svan, which was kind of like, I would say, maybe the weakest link of the relay. And so Ebba Andersson starts with a 15 seconds lead, crashes in the one corner before an uphill, gets overtaken by Astrid Slind. And then she was skiing 10-15 seconds behind. And then on the last lap, absolutely stacks it. And like does a front flip, and her ski just goes like flying off. Then she's like taking like all her, like getting her ski and then double pulling with one ski and holding the other ski as if she was going to do something with the ski. But like everybody was like, just leave the ski, and just double pulled back to the like coach zone so you can get another ski. And that was like disaster, I think.
But imagine the panic or the stress she must have felt in her head when she just saw her ski flying through the air. Yeah, and then it's like, okay, I am racing for Sweden here right now. I'm quite far away from the stadium. We're actually like we should definitely win gold. And I'm actually the one messing it up right now for everybody. So then it's like, oh ski, what am I doing with the ski?
Yeah, no, I felt
I can see that being a little, I can see panic being a part of the equation there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, damn, that was like crazy.
But it also proves that, and this sounds very hypothetically, especially after the men's relay today, but even if you're like by far the favorite, in a relay there's always stuff that can happen, and there's so many things that can go wrong. So yeah, just proves that being favorite doesn't mean you're gonna win the race.
And honestly, like they actually did quite okay considering. Like they managed to she only lost like a minute or something, considering she was like doing like the scooter technique on one ski. That's crazy, I think. So and then they did get like silver medal, which shows how strong they were. Like what the hell?
Yeah.
So
Also, something heartbreaking: the German women's relay, because I actually had them on my cards as being a medal candidate, and I think Laura Gimler just had the worst day of her season.
she crashed.
I didn't even see that. They didn't even talk about that on the radio.
So I think she crashed. Is like the thing is, so many people crashed.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think like a good half of the field actually crashed, and I think that Laura Gimler crashed. Stadlober also crashed in the first downhill with the Australian team, and yeah, I'm pretty sure that she crashed. But anyway, yeah, she had a bad leg.
Stadlober, I don't think she crashed. Did she?
Stadlober definitely crashed. Yeah, or she
Okay.
was involved in that crash for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
At the start, so.
Okay, this actually proves also something else. NRK radio, you really should get better in doing the radio, because I didn't, or maybe I just was not listening because I was driving. But I'm quite sure I didn't hear them talking about Teresa crashing.
Oh, maybe I'm getting mixed up, but oh, maybe I'm yeah, okay. I'm looking at the live results, like the live analysis now.
Yeah.
And maybe I got mixed up with. I thought it was Stadlober, but it was actually a Chinese athlete, probably.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
One
that would
athlete
kind
we're
of
gonna
make
give
sense.
a shout out to here, mate.
Yeah.
Austrian athlete Heidi Bucher, being 19 years old,
Yeah.
still a junior, going to Junior World Championships after the Olympics now. She did so well. I think she was, skiing 5 seconds behind podium places, or people that were fighting for podium places at least,
Yeah.
for basically her entire leg. I think she had like her 5th leg time, which is, in my eyes, super impressive, especially
Yeah.
considering that she's raced 2nd leg, which is usually 2nd and 3rd leg are the ones with the fastest leg times. So yeah, that was a very good effort. Generally, Austrian girls' first relay since Sochi 2014. Teresa Stadlober was a part of the last relay in 2014.
Yeah.
Now she's also a part of the first relay back 2026. Super cool to see.
Yeah.
Actually, what did they come in? 8th, 9th, I think? 10th, or maybe it's just 10th, but it was a top 10 at least. So yeah, hats off, well
No,
done.
that was a great effort. Yeah, they were 10th, 449 behind, which is a great effort. I think they should be happy with that.
They are very happy with it.
Yeah. No, it was cool, and like honestly, it's like just generally cool to watch these relays. Like Australia managing to finish the relay and finishing in 14th without getting lapped. Like we have to, yeah. Like it's a country that has been developing the last few years, and they're trying hard, and like it's cool to see them be in top 15. I mean, it's maybe not that many team that starts in the women's field, but like you still need to be up there, and I think that was kind of cool to see as well. Like they have one girl on the team that's from 2005, so yeah, I think it's kind of cool. So
Yeah. On to the men's relay.
yeah, or we could just say that Norway won, then Sweden was second, and Finland was third, which was kind of like a bit uncertain, and I think actually Germany ended up being only 20 seconds behind at the end. So yeah, I think that was a really good effort by Finland, and I mean it's always for us that are not Scandinavian, it's always a bit sad to see like the 3 flags there, like with the cross, Scandinavian flags. So we like to see some European flags, but
that's another good reason why we should move on to today's relay, because we did see 2 European flags, and we did see 2 nations that were so incredibly happy at the finish line.
Yeah,
I mean the Frenchies, they just went absolute haywire, and then the same for the Italians, which was a bit of a shame because I was watching on television and instead of showing Kiko's sprint up the Sortsea climb, we were watching the Norwegians hugging each other and then watching some crowds that were cheering.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. Well, it's a bit difficult. They have to show the winners, and they have to show first and second place. But at the same time, they had been showing the fight for the third place like the entire race. I felt,
Yeah.
and then in the key moment where Kiko attacked, we didn't see it, and we didn't even see a replay of it.
Yeah. So, but I also want to say there's a difference in having to show the winners, which you obviously have to do, and they deserve
Yeah.
that attention because they're the winners. But like they'll get the attention the whole time. We were literally watching them hug in the finish for like what 10, 15 seconds when it's like
Yeah.
10 most interesting seconds of the whole race
That's
because
true,
will
that's true.
Kiko get the Italian relay home with a medal? And he did. So
Yeah, and so we can say Norway was first, then it was France second with like I think we can say an outstanding performance.
yes.
Italy third, Finland fourth, and Canada fifth, which is like also outstanding.
Yes. What's the most outstanding performance you've seen today?
He's getting a lot of praise, but I think Mathis Delage was like,
Oh, mate, I was gonna say that.
yeah. I mean, the fact that he skied faster than Einar Hedegaard again is just like that guy is like in the shape of his life. They should put him. I think they should actually put him on team sprint.
They probably should, yeah. Also,
I
did
think
you
they
see how
actually
fast he
might.
was skiing up the Sortsea climb in the last lap?
Yeah, no, it was crazy. And but my good friend Victor, like our good friend Victor,
Yes. Our
Did
good
the-
friend Lukas Shanava.
yeah, we can say this little story that we were Victor and his brother came to visit us on the 17th of May, and Mika thought it was a great idea to start introducing Victor as my
No,
good friend.
it was Oscar. It was
It
Victor's
was his
brother.
brother. Yeah, okay, it was his brother as my good friend Lukas Shanava. And so people were taking pictures of him and so on because Lukas Shanava was in Lillehammer then. And then it was like a French guy, and they were like, oh my god, it's Lukas Shanava. And they were like taking pictures of him and so on. And
It's like all these drunk kids in Lillehammer who were like, you
Yeah.
could have just told them anything, and I was just walking around, hey, here, like, you know, it's my good friend Lukas Shanava. And then Oscar, as it was just like, and people actually like, he doesn't look anything close to Lukas
not even
Shanava.
close. Not even remotely close. That was what was really funny about it.
Yeah. It was good time. So, yeah, but very cool to see him bring home the silver.
Yeah,
I think it's
wow,
fair to
that
say
was-
he was very excited.
Yeah, and he also did like an amazing race. Like
Yeah, he did.
he was catching time on Klaebo the entire race. Or not on the entire race, but on all the uphills. I think it's impressive the way Klaebo raced. I think he didn't want to use so much energy. So it looked like he went really controlled up all the hills. And then on the easy terrain went really fast because Victor was gaining time. He gained 6 seconds from the stadium up to the highest point of the course. And then Victor lost like I think 10 seconds back down to the stadium. So on the easy terrain,
It
Victor
was
lost way more time.
like the last uphill of the skate loop. So
Yeah.
basically, the first uphill and the last uphill for people watching on
Yeah.
television, they maybe don't really know how it goes. So basically, you have like a 500-meter downhill with like two quite fast corners, which especially when it's like a bit frozen, a bit hard in the forest, can be tricky. Not have to be, but can be tricky. Then you have this like short little climb with a nice transition into downhill again. It's like probably like 1 kilometer. And in that 1 kilometer, which is mainly downhill or rolling terrain, Abo just absolutely hammered it, and he went so fast there. It was unreal. Like people that aren't so into like professional skiing and don't know what it means to like catch a second to somebody here or there, like you can just not comprehend how insane it is to be 10 seconds quicker on that little part with mainly downhill than Victor Lovera, who is also a skier that stands very good on skis, and he's very good in that sort of terrain.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's. I think that's just what he went for, and I think he thought that he would lose less energy probably like that, and I think for him to be honest, he's like fighting for his 6 gold medals. It was just winning the race with as little energy as possible.
And also, both you and I know it, Jimmy. It's gonna happen.
He's gonna do it. It's gonna. Honestly, since the 10K skate, it's like for sure gonna happen now.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah,
He's the greatest
unless
skier of all time, and we just have to, everybody that's watching Klaebo, just enjoy it. Enjoy it. You're witnessing greatness, and you're witnessing something that you're never ever gonna witness in your lifespan in any other sport again.
that's
And I can say that not with 100% certainty, but with 99% certainty.
yeah, that's true. Unless Sevi does honor his promise and actually tackles Klaebo in the 50K rugby tackle.
Well, we would have something on the podcast to talk about. That's for sure.
That would be good. That would make some proper good content. Yeah.
Yeah, it would.
But mate, I have to say, I'm going at it again. But like,
Yeah.
seeing Canada being 5th, like amazing performance from them. Like hands down, kudos, everything. But I don't feel like they have a stronger team than we do. So it was a bit hard for me to.
I think that's a bit like it's very easy
On paper.
Yeah, but when you're sitting at home, you always can say like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah,
we
for
should be
sure.
better than those." But it's just we'll never know, and I think that's the sad part of it. If you
Yeah.
see, we have 10 relays at the start. It just like the start. It looks a bit sad.
Yeah. I mean,
Also, something else that we have to talk about with 10 relays on the start, and then coming in 10th. You want to say something about that?
yeah, like. Well, the thing is, I was talking to people and I was like, "Oh, you never know about Sweden. They can always like bring something out of the bag. Like they're not bad skiers." And then they just produced like history's worst relay for Sweden.
But how can Sweden be last in the relay when they have such high profile names on the
Yeah.
team? Like they have William Poromaa, who's a world championship medalist last year, not 10 years ago, but last year. They have Kalle Halvarsson, who's he's been struggling the last years, but like if you look at the last 10, 15 years, he's like one of the top skiers of our generation.
Yeah.
Then you
Edwin
have
Unger.
Edwin Unger, who is basically one of the biggest talents in skiing right now, who's won plenty of races.
Yeah, I don't know, but weird. Yeah, very weird. Apparently they had really bad grip as well. But
I'm not gonna lie, I was a bit concerned about the Norwegian team when I saw Emil skiing up the long climb, because it did
Yeah.
look a lot like Emil was struggling with grip quite a bit as well.
Yeah. But the thing is they are such a strong team
Yeah.
that they should kind of manage without.
Yeah, that's what I think as well.
But I don't know. It's they're going. The men's team is not having the best championships, and I think it's just Truls Gisselman that was the only one that really performed well on the.
He didn't get to
skiathlon.
do the relay.
He was sick, so
That explains it.
so
right?
it was like the one guy that actually has been good for Sweden got sick. So a bit of a bad luck for them as well, we have to say.
Yeah.
But surprising.
They have the
surprising.
talent in the team. They have lots of people that are super talented skiers. They have Anton Graan. They have probably the biggest talent in double poling that's ever existed, Alvar Mühlbäck. They have Poromaa, Unger. So I don't
Yeah.
think it's hopeless for Sweden now. But yeah, these
Yeah, for
Olympics
sure.
do not seem to go their way. But we actually, like, we hate it. You and I, we hate it when we see only Scandinavian countries winning in cross country skiing. But come on, we need Sweden. Cross country skiing needs Sweden. We
Yeah.
need them to be back in being like good, and not a little bit good, but back at the level of they had 10, 15 years ago, when they had people like Johan Olsson, Marcus Hellner on the team.
The thing is, all of these guys at the top level are like super good. It's just somehow they didn't manage any of them to be at the top level.
I'm even willing to go further. Even with this team with Johan Hackström now, but especially with Truls, if they'd have everybody competing on their top level, I think they might be the only ones actually capable of at least challenging the Norwegians. Like, obviously,
Yeah.
Klaebo is going to beat everybody in the sprint, but still, they could at least challenge him.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Crazy
It's
times.
sad to see.
Also, I think what was kind of interesting is to see how all the teams performed kind of the way they have been performing at the Olympics so far. So I think like the US came into the Olympics as like, for me, they were like silver medal contenders, like before the Olympics. But I don't know, they just haven't quite been performing at the level where they have been before, just right before the Olympics. And they showed it today. I think they finished 6th, I think. Canada has been great on the 10K.
Canada is performing over what they showed. Like, I get it.
But they were good on the 10K. They were actually good on the 10K, and they kind of showed it again now on the relay.
True.
So
We're talking who's a lot better in the Olympics than they were in the whole World Cup season before. We have to get back to the French team.
Yeah, I mean,
they are so good. Like, and all of them look so good. Theo was maybe struggling a little bit, but like, yeah, in general they were so good.
Yeah, no, for sure. I was impressed. I have to say I was a bit sad that Jules Lapierre wasn't on the relay. I think he's also my good friend from when we grew up. So I was sad because he's missed. It's the 3rd Olympic that he misses on the relay, and he misses on an Olympic medal. So it must be pretty tough for him. Like, he's been to 3 Olympics, and every time he's like number 5, like first reserve to start, and then they get a medal. So I think it's just that's hard to swallow, especially when he's been like the last couple of years he's been like a super high level.
Yeah, but it just shows how competitive the level is on the team.
Yeah, the French team has been so good. But mate, we have to say that okay, it was kind of a cool relay, but it was still like big gaps and maybe like not the most exciting race. Would it not be better to have easier courses and have like bigger groups skiing together?
I don't think so, because if you're being honest now, it was uninteresting for the win, but it was that before the start already, and it would be that on an easy course as well, because when you have Klaebo to finish it off, it doesn't really matter what you do with the course. But for 2nd place, I thought it was very exciting. I mean, Mathis Deloge did an insane good job on the 3rd leg, which brought Victor in a perfect position to actually bring the silver home. But
yeah,
you know, with the mid-European teams, there was also a realistic chance that Victor would go out too hard, and then the Italians and the Finnish. I was a bit worried as well, because he went out insanely hard.
Yeah.
So I actually think that the race for number 2 was super exciting, even though that in the end it seemed like the French were, quite a bit better than the Italians who came in 3rd. But I have been watching a very interesting, very exciting relay for at least 3 legs, and then even the last leg was very exciting because of Kiko and Nico Antola.
That's true. But I mean, going back to Mathis Deloge, I think we have to say that like the way he attacked the 3rd leg, he just did like an individual race. He did a 7.5 individual race, and honestly, I think that was the one thing that France had to do to secure a medal. Because the thing is, quite often on relays, people get a bit nervous. People are like, "Oh, I don't want to start too hard and like fuck it up for my team." So then they start a bit controlled and then like play a bit cat and mouse, and then on the last lap they kind of attack. But often it's like a little bit too late, so people keep up. And he just went for it straight from the start, exploded the group completely. And remember Planitza? It was like that. It was like everybody was waiting the whole time, like waiting and then attacking on the last like kilometer or so.
But I think also as of now, and there's still 2 races to go, I think we can very confidently say that Mathis Deloge is by far the MVP of these Olympics already.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the dude's got 3 medals of 3 races he participated in.
Crazy.
And like he might get to do the team sprint now, and he might get to do or he might get the medal on 50K as well. Like he could end up these games with 5 medals.
You could end up with 5 silvers. Then you have one guy with 6 golds and one guy with 5 silvers. Imagine that.
Yeah, but we're not there yet, I think.
But we are allowed to dream. And the good thing is, especially for me, I'm talking for myself here now. I've been sent, or I went home from the Olympics. I can just sit here, act smart, say what people should do, how they should decide, say who's done good, who's done bad. I can just say it. It's great. I'll just put myself in a journalist role as of now for the rest of the Olympics.
Yeah, but then, Mr. Journalist, a question for you, controversial question for you.
Oh.
Would you have put Emil Iversen on leg 1? I mean, to scrape Amundsen from the relay when he has a 4th spot and a 6th spot is for me like mind-blowing.
Especially if you look back on the last 3-4 years when you just know that Amundsen is going to deliver.
Yeah.
I think it doesn't really matter how you would have put up the Norwegian team. They are individually, they're so strong, every athlete on there. I think they would have made gold no matter how they would have put up the team, as long as you have Johannes in the last spot.
Yeah, but
that's at the Olympics for Norway now is capable of at least keeping up with the other nations. So, but in my uneducated and humble opinion, I think they should have sent Edwin Anger, Harald Østberg Amundsen. Yeah, it doesn't matter. They won gold, so they were right in their decision. And Emil did hand over as number 1, but I think Amundsen would have done so as well. So I think it doesn't really matter. They're both super good, insanely good skiers. And it's like, come on, if you have to choose between Amundsen or Iversen, it's a little bit of a luxury problem.
Yeah, for sure. But the only thing that it doesn't bother me, but like, it's like, come on, like I think Amundsen has deserved to also get a gold medal.
Yeah, but maybe Amundsen will get to do the team sprint, and they've been talking about
I was getting onto that. I think that's my theory.
I think they have a deal. I think they said, okay, Harald, you're gonna get to do the team sprint with Johannes. Therefore, Emil is gonna get to do the relay with the 3 others, including Johannes. Yeah, but it's modern skiing. It's what we see. If you get a ticket to go with Johannes or Klaebo, like a lot of things have to go wrong for you to not go home with a gold medal.
Yeah, no, I can agree with that.
So, but we'll see. Maybe we'll be proven wrong. Maybe they'll put up Hedegaard instead. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah,
we're turning into a 10-minute segment. I think.
I think people enjoy a bit of blabbing. So
probably.
I met a legend skiing on. I was skiing on Levatse today, and there's this legend like comes up to me. He had like AirPods, and he's like, I'm listening to you, mate. And I was like, fucking yes, mate. Good work.
Good times. Your number 1 Nordic skiing podcast. Leave us a like, leave us a comment. Tell us what you think. Who would you have put up at the Norwegian relay? Would you have put up Iversen or Amundsen?
And correct all the bull that we talked about.
And also, very important, make sure to root for both Jimmy Clunet and Andrew Musgrave in the team sprint. We're going to root for you. I'm going to cheer in front of the television. And I've got the true, mate. You're going to do well. I've got the true.
Yeah, I hope so.
Right. Peace out.
Ciao.
Peace
out.
Serious problems.